think for me, telling my younger self is just stay locked in, stay focused on the goal, and don't. Obviously, your path, you're gonna have some hiccups, things are gonna happen, but not going too far off that line. Just being able to get back to that line. I think that's a good example, metaphor, whatever you want to call it. How I look at it, there's a straight line in life. You're gonna go different ways. You're going to just not try to get too far away from it, and being able to figure out what went wrong so you can get back to that straight line. I think that's the biggest thing for me, looking back at it.
Hello, everyone. This is Coach Tim Brown, author of the book Uncommon Athletes. I'm blessed to have with me a good friend, known him for a while since he was first started playing basketball. Javon Bess. Most of you guys know him as JB. So, JB, welcome to the show.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I want to really just kind of want to jump right in. A lot of guys have this dream of making it to the league, playing college basketball and getting to that next step. And you're one of those who actually lived that out, and lived it out in a way that most guys will never get to experience. I know you're a free agent and worked out a deal with the New Orleans Pelicans the same year Zion got drafted, and so you had the summer league experience, training camp experience with him and that team. How was that experience for you? How was that?
It was a blessing, to say the least. I think, like you said, we all grow up seeing that. And then for me, it happened and it was a blessing, even though it was for a short period of time, it still was, looking back on it, it's still a blessing, something that nobody can take from me. So I think it was a great experience though, and then being around Zion showed me the real hype of the NBA, because sometimes I could have been to a situation where it wasn't, notable players that got drafted and stuff and been at that type of training camp and summer league and stuff. But Zion being there, the cameras was always on us. It was getting on the bus. It was, security got to get us walking straight to the bus. And we all rookies. So we all kind of together the whole time. So security got to take us different places together. So it was wild. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, what were some of those takeaways you learned from that? What were some lessons that you'll remember from that experience?
I just think you got to be focused. Being focused is the number one thing. Is that life that, and like I said, I only experienced it I played in 5 preseason games, so I only experienced it for a short period of time. But staying focused, I can tell you a lot of guys in the NBA too are just blessed. No matter what they do, they're gonna, they're gonna be able to play at a top level. But the majority of the guys, the ones that stay focused, are the ones that makes it. I think that's the big thing. Just keeping your mind right and being focused on the goal that you had to get there.
Right. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. One thing for you is, like I was sharing, you started out early, but when did you really find your passion for basketball? When did you fall in love with the game?
I really want to say, honestly, not till high school. I mean, growing up, I always played. So I had a passion for sports in general because I always played different sports. Football was really my number one sport going up until my freshman year of high school. I always thought I was going to go to the next level being a football player. So growing up, I played basketball and football since I was 5, before I should even have been playing. So I always had a passion for sports, but when it just became strictly basketball was probably in high school when I quit football after my freshman year.
How'd that football, because I know one of your hallmarks is playing great defense and being aggressive, so now I can see where that came from. How did that football experience help you in basketball?
It helped me a lot too. And I had tough coaches playing football. So it was like, this thing where everybody can't be soft and stuff like that. So I think that kind of made it was instilled in me. So in sports in general. So growing up, we played for the Mifflin Sharks, playing for the Sharks, and Coach Randy and Coach Tony, I think they kind of instilled that in me at a young age.
Wow, that's good stuff. I know you come from a basketball family. I know you have 3 sisters and everyone's played basketball at some point in life. How was that growing up? And what's some friendly competition stories you got for us?
Really with my sister, so my older sister, with Nobi, she played in college too. She graduated from Kent State and played at Kent State. we was always gone. Like we started playing AAU, and like I can remember in the second grade going to nationals in Memphis in the South, 7, 8 years old. So we was always gone, going our separate ways. You know, my dad had me, my mom had Nobi. And so me and her really didn't get a chance. We played when we was younger, but we didn't really get a chance to like really compete. Like me and her go to the gym and play because we was always going our separate ways. But the real competition is probably me and my dad. Like, that's like a friend. Like he's like a best friend to me. So we always play. We still play to this. We probably played a few months ago was the last time we played. We always play one-on-one, talk trash to each other. So that's probably I think I can remember when did I beat my dad?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the real question.
I remember one time in high school.
Wow.
And people don't know, my dad used to be, people see him now, but my dad used to be real big too. He used to be huge.
Yeah.
You know, he's real. I probably weigh more than him now, but like, I remember in high school one time, I beat him before that too, but the one time that stick out, I remember in high school, we went to the Y one morning and we played. I think I beat him 10-0 or something like that, and then he passed out. His back was hurt and everything. Like he was, I can't. That's the one time that I can't remember. We played a bunch of times, but that's the time I'm never gonna forget. And the thing is, my little sister was there with us though, so we got a witness and everything. Yeah, we got a witness and everything. Can't lie, because my little sister was there. He fell on the ground, fell out, and that's probably what made him start losing all that weight. Because I think I went off to school a few months later. Next time I seen him, he was slim. So that's probably what happened. Yeah. That was his wake-up call.
Wake-up call. Want to make sure you be ready the next time y'all play.
Yeah, that probably was his wake-up call.
It definitely wasn't going to be 10-0 the next time.
Yeah.
For sure, he going to get a bucket now.
Yeah.
This deal. As we talk about your hard work, you were known as a hard worker all through high school and college as well. But there was a video series about you, getting up with the early morning workouts. Can you walk us through that, and really what kept you getting up? What was that drive that kept you getting up to do those?
I think meeting my guy Ant, he was my trainer, and really like a mentor to me growing. When I met him I met him a while ago, but when we kind of got locked in together was probably my sophomore, junior year of high school. Mm-hmm. And him just showing me a different path, a different way of life, is because you know how it is. Kids, sometimes you don't really want to listen to your parents when you're younger and stuff. So, but hearing it from him, I kind of attracted. I kind of took hold and was hearing it from him. And he was pretty young still. He was still in his early 20s, so he wasn't that much older than me. So, I think getting with him, he kind of helped change and shift my life in a period where it needed to be changed. And I think him showing me the way, it kind of helped me. It definitely helped me and helped me to know, okay, this is the way. Not getting up, not going to the gym, especially in high school. You got to go to school 7 hours throughout the day. So, and then you got practice right after school. So that was the time. Okay, let's get our work done in the morning. That was, and at first it sounds crazy. Like, you're gonna work out before school, 5 o'clock in the morning. But once you start doing it, you get into routine. It's easy, just like anything else. And I think just seeing your parents too, like as kids, you see everything, seeing them work multiple jobs, seeing them all hours working. It's like, I never was like, okay, I see them struggling and doing this. I don't want to just be the one just sitting on the couch watching TV no, I still want to show, okay, I'm just taking after them, working hard, just seeing how they work hard. I know, okay, this is what it's going to take.
Right. You said something powerful there, and that is just watching your parents and their work ethic.
Mm-hmm,
and that being instilled in you. Like you said, if they can get up and go to work with multiple jobs to take us for you all,
right,
for kids, they can get up and do that. Surely I can do my part.
Exactly. And that's the way I looked at it, especially like I said, when I met Ant, and that's when my dad was working multiple jobs. My mom was working early in the morning to late at night. So like just seeing that, it was like, okay, at some point I want to get to a position to where they don't have to do that, to kind of help.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, that's well said there. That's well said. Now, during the recruiting process, I know in high school you were a top recruit, playing on the AAU circuit and all that. What was it about Michigan State that led you to sign with them?
I think for me, it was a great fit. It was a great fit. And the opportunity was there. I think that's the biggest thing we got to look at going into college is the opportunity.
Mm.
And for me, the opportunity was there. And I had a great relationship with Coach Izzo, still do to this day. Gary Harris was there, but he left. He entered the draft. So it wasn't too many. They didn't have too many like guard wing, like 2s and 3s. So I knew, okay, going in there, I'm going to have a chance to be able to start coming into my freshman year and play a lot. So I think, and I don't regret that decision at all, because, you know, the week before our first game, I got hurt, and that's when I broke my foot. I was going to be starting and everything. So I just think that set me back. Me breaking my foot set me back, but I definitely think that was still the right decision. And then the relationship I had with Coach Izzo, you know, he's not the same guy that everybody sees on TV. Everybody, like, he is that guy. He is that guy, but there's another whole nother side to Coach Izzo, and I think that's why his players, all his players love him. All his players still go back there and everything. Like, it's times where, like, my group of freshmen, it was 4 of us come in. We may have a hard practice or something. He getting on guys, whatever the case may be. But then he can bring us up to his office and we just chilling, talking to him. We go, the 4 freshmen go to the caf and eat with Coach Iz. So it was stuff like that we knew, like, okay, he's doing this for a reason. He's not doing this just to be a mean coach or whatever. He sees potential in this. And I think that was another big reason going there, my relationship with Coach Izzo.
That's great. That's great. Now, could you speak to these young athletes about the transfer? We know you transferred to St. Louis and that whole process. And what should athletes consider when they're transferring schools?
I think the biggest thing is you gotta get down the list. You gotta make a list. You gotta say what you want in this next school. I think you can't look at the school, the name of the school, or how big or how small it is. You got to look at, okay, this is going to be you got to look at it like this has got to be one of the biggest decisions I'm going to make thus far in my career. So, like, for me, it was, you just got to put down the list, and whatever school you check, whichever school checks all boxes, I think that's the school that you need to go to. I don't think because when you transfer, if you transfer from a big school, you're going to have other big schools that want you and things like that. But for example, let's say you're a point guard, you want to play the point guard, but you may be a little bigger, so they want to put you off the ball. If you're transferring, you need to make sure, just because another school wants you, Duke may want you, but OU may say, okay, we want you to come in here and be the point guard. I think you got to look at, okay, where am I going to go to where I'm going to every box checks. I'm going to be able to be a point guard. I can take as many shots as I want. I'm going to be able to lead the team. I'm going to be a leader on the team. I'm going to have the ball in my hands. Those different things you got to look at when transferring. And you got to make sure that you make the right decision and don't go with just the glitz and glamour, what schools look the best.
Right. And I think we had talked a little bit about, even in that process, having the right people in your ear, and having the right people around you that can help you in that decision, in that decision. So you made that decision in St. Louis. What was it about St. Louis? What was it about?
It was Coach Ford, my Coach Ford, who I love, and all the boxes checked. Like I said, it was plenty schools want you to come, especially coming from Michigan State. Plenty schools wanted, we want to get this kid to come from Michigan State, and they knew me from high school and stuff. And I was getting over my injury. I broke my foot twice at Michigan State. That's the main reason I left. So it was just, I knew how they was going to play me. I knew we had an actual plan, for my sit-out year. Because when I was there, I think now you can transfer and don't have to sit out one time. But when I was there, you had to sit out. So we had an actual plan for that sit-out year and everything. And I think that was the biggest thing that led me to St. Louis. All the boxes checked.
Let's go off the court just for a little bit. I think when kids are or going to schools, period, how important is life after basketball, just being a part of that community that you're playing for?
It's huge. It's huge. And it's, I didn't realize it till I got older now. And I wish I would have did it more, but networking is huge, and especially in this business of entertainment in general, not just sports, entertainment in general. Networking is huge. And when you go into these universities, a lot of people do look up to you. A lot of people want to get around you. A lot of people want to meet you. Yeah. And the thing to do is, like, when you have different, like, people know that went to college, play basketball in college, it's like, you're always going to be tired. So you don't want to go do the extra stuff that Coach may say. We may have to go to a booster meeting or like a lunch with some boosters or stuff like that. and we all used to dread it. But looking back at it now, it's like those are things that you should get excited for, because those are some people that you're gonna need in your corner when it's all said and done. Whether you go play in the NBA and make a ton of money, you can't play in the NBA forever. So those are some people that's still gonna be able to show you a different way to make the same amount, to live the same lifestyle you was living when you was in the NBA. So I just think off the court, being able to interact with the community of the school and the boosters and things like that is huge.
Yeah, no, that's an important point, and we try to get guys not to miss that,
Yeah, for sure.
Because those persons are there, and really they're there to help you, because I think they understand that life's going to end one day from a basketball standpoint. And then the good coaches, like the Coach Izzos of the world, Coach, but they'll make sure that you're around the right people.
Exactly.
They just don't bring anybody in that circle.
Exactly.
They're the right people. They got the right heart, and they're not the leeches trying to latch on to you or whatnot, but they're trying to help you. You're only 19, 20 years old,
Exactly.
They're just there to help you. Yeah, to help mold you and shape you into that. So you had your experience, lived your dream, got to the league with the Pelicans, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, what impact has that had on your career so far?
I think it's positive and negative. It impacted me in both ways. I think just because when COVID hit is when I was in the G League too, and our season stopped. We didn't come back and play. Our season ended in the end of February or March, early March, something like that. Our season ended. So it was kind of like, and then summer league didn't happen. They didn't have any more mini camps. And for a guy like me, those were the things that I needed, because I got hurt too my first year in the G League. When I got to the G League, I got hurt. So missed a lot of time there. So I needed those mini camps, the free agent camps, just the summer league, things like that. And they didn't have any of those. So, going into the next season, it was, okay, we were thinking, okay, we're going to go back to training camp again with the Pelicans, but you know how it's a business, end up signing somebody else. So now it's, okay, we're going to make the jump and go overseas. So I just think it positively helped me, just because it showed me, it sat me down and helped me realize, like, okay, you got to be able to have something else. I don't want to, while you're going through it, basketball, it has to be number one, but you got to have to be something else to keep your mind going, keep your mind sharp, keep your mind going. What are your other hobbies? Tell me other hobbies and things that I have. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I did get from the pandemic.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That leads right into our next question is, what kind of life lessons have you learned during this basketball journey? I know you're still on the journey, but
I think, like you said, like we talked about, having the right people around you is huge. That's huge, and I would say that starts from really high school on up. Like once you really get serious about the sport, having the right people around you can really change and direct your life in many different ways. I think you need people that's going to tell you the truth. You need people that's going to tell you the truth. That's going to not just tell you what you want to hear. And another thing is being yourself. I think that's a huge one too, being yourself. Because a lot of times in this game, you may go to a situation where a team wants you to play a certain way, and in your heart you're a different type of player, and that's a decision you're gonna have to make. Like, okay, I can go to this situation and play how they want me to play, but I may not be my best. I may not be able to be my best. I think for me, a big lesson I learned was always, I got to be true to myself and be JB and not try to be somebody else. Be JB. I got to this point because I was being JB. So you can't get to this point of being yourself and then try to change your whole makeup of your game. You can't do that. You got to be yourself, and wherever it leads you, that's where it leads you.
Right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Wow, you dropped some great gems on the audience today. That's been some good stuff. But lastly, let me end with this. As you look at these young student athletes, and the game has definitely changed. It's definitely changed.
For sure.
Basically, it's year round now. Everybody has a trainer, and everybody is an All-American at 8 years old.
Right.
The whole deal. So, lastly, what advice would you give? You were giving advice to your young self. It's just to your young self. What would you tell your young self?
I think about, like we said, staying focused, and understanding the goal that's at hand, especially when I think with a lot of kids, you got to first ask yourself, and I think this probably happens around the early high school, around that age. Like, do you really love it? And is this really what you want to do? Like, you gotta ask yourself that, and you gotta be honest with yourself. If you really love it and really this what you want to do, you gotta separate from certain people. You can't do everything that everybody else is doing. You know, for the majority of the basketball players, like 80% can't do it. 90% really. It's only a small percent that can
1%.
do whatever they want. So the majority of the basketball players, you gotta separate yourself. You gotta lock in on the goal, and you may have to take 5 years away from your life to really lock in to change the rest of 20, 30, 40 years of your life. So I just think for me, telling my younger self is just stay locked in, stay focused on the goal, and don't, obviously your path, you're gonna have some hiccups, things are gonna happen, but not going too far off that line. Just being able to get back to that line. I think that's a good example, metaphor, whatever you want to call it, how I look at it. There's a straight line in life. You're going to go different ways. You're going to just not try to get too far away from it, and being able to figure out what went wrong so you can get back to that straight line. I think that's the biggest thing for me, looking back at it.
Wow. I'm going to use that one. Get back to that line. Get back to that line. That's a great metaphor. That's a great analogy and a great way to explain it. Like you said, there's going to be some bumps in the road. You've had injuries. You had things that may not have worked out, but you got to get back to that line. You got to get and your focus on what you're there for. But I want to thank you for taking the time out. I know as you're preparing for this upcoming season, I want to thank you for your time. And I want to pray that, and I know the Lord's going to continue to bless you, because I know what's inside of you, knowing your family, great work ethic, but most importantly, a faithful family, that know that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And I'm glad that you're using that purpose. And I want to encourage you as well. I know you're playing in some summer leagues, and I want you to know this, just your presence there is encouraging somebody, because, sometimes you come back around and they're looking at, well, that's JB, ain't he supposed to be in the league? He's supposed to be on the team, but that's not true. You coming back, letting folks know the journey, that I'm still grinding,
For sure.
And I want to assure you that is truly encouraging some young guys, because they see you, they know you were hanging out with Zion. They know all that.
Right.
They know all that, like that, and they get to see you and the way you play the game. That's the other way. You play the game the right way, play hard every minute. You don't cheat the game, and God's going to reward you for that. So I want to pray that you'll be blessed this upcoming season, and whatever God has for you, I know you'll take it, and you'll get back on that, and you'll stay on that straight line. Get back to that. For
sure, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Well, thanks for jumping on. I look forward to following the rest of your career. Be blessed.
Yes, you too. Appreciate it.